Alright guys, the time is now for an early access showdown between the Vampire Coast, who's going to be led by CYLOSTRA Direfin, and the Warriors of Chaos, who are going to be led by the new and improved Archaon the Ever-Chosen. So without further ado, let's jump right into this match and have some fun. So first things first guys, let's go ahead and take a look at Miss Direfin up on her mighty Leviathan. So this is the Rotting Leviathan, it's the alpha of the crabs for the Vampire Coast. Pretty good combat stats, 380 weapon strength, so it's not like a super hard-hitting monster like, let's say, a giant or something like that, but again, very tanky, 150 armor, 52 melee attack, decent melee defense, okay AP, so definitely very well suited for tanking most Chaos Infantry like Forsaken, Marauders, Chaos Warriors, things like that. And she does have access to Lore of the Deep, so we do have the Ghost of the Past, which is her bound ability, which summons Bretonnian Knights. Very, very cool stuff. On top of that, we do have the Song of Enthrallment, which is going to be lowering speed of nearby units and also their melee attack, which is also very good. I feel like she might be pretty solid against Bretonnia, actually. And for the abilities, we have Fog of the Damned, which lowers leadership and melee attack by 26, Denizens of the Deep to summon some angry crabs, and the Spiteful Shot, which we're going to be using on some of the big flying bats. So I figure we'll be spamming that on the Salt Lord Scuttlers and our Deck Droppers to give them accuracy, and hopefully it'll pay off. So I was going to bring Vangeist's Revenge, which is the big pirate ship, but I found that it's if you bring like 4 abilities, it can get a little bit expensive. So I wanted to use Fog of the Damned and the crabs and things like that, and hopefully it'll pan out. For our infantry, very pitiful stuff. Zombie pirate deckhand mobs with polearms, the entire core, so just going to be trying to endure the chaos while CYLOSTRA Direfin is able to do some of the heavier lifting. We have the Deck Droppers, Salt Lord Scuttlers. We do also have Deck Droppers with handguns who are going to be sitting and taking pot shots. And we have 2 of the Deathstreak Terror guys. So I was really expecting Kolek here, but he did bring Archaon, who has been buffed heavily. So Archaon now has really good armor piercing values, whereas before his AP values were just absolutely atrocious. So he's able to do some heavy damage against armored targets now, very similar to the game. I may have already posted it. I'm not sure in which order I'm going to post games, but with Turin definitely hits like a truck now as well. So for the forces of Jen, on occasion, he does have basically a massive infantry blob, which is really the way to deal with Vampire Coast, in my opinion. You just have Forsaken, you have Marauders, Chaos Warriors, just a ton of stuff. Archaon's going to be using Flaming Sword of Ruin. He does have the Demon Spew here, which are always scary. A couple halberds in the back, and he does also have Chariots, which Janet actually mentioned he likes to use to kind of pin down high mass targets. So I think it's going to be pretty cool to see how he uses those bad boys. So without further ado, guys, let's get the show on the road and see how the battle goes. So the Deck Dropper is going to be dropping some hot fire. Bombers over here are going to be dropping some heat on these Forsaken. And these are the Regiment of Renowned Bombers who actually have really good armor piercing and armor sundering. So you can see they're put down to 45 armor. So there's definitely some cool synergy there. But yeah, getting some good damage in. I mean, definitely popping down some HP here. Probably going to get some models. And the handgunners are going to be taking pot shots at Forsaken. So they're obviously relatively squishy. They have lower HP pools than other infantry, so trying my best to wear them down. And we're going to get a breath attack on Archaon right there. We do mulch the Demon Spew, but the Archaon's actually on foot, so he doesn't take too much damage from those breath attacks. I feel like it does a little bit better if he's like on, or for us, if he's on a horse, right? He's like a bigger target for the breath attacks. But we're getting some good skirmishing. Our infantry is not going to hold up for long. The zombie pirates are definitely very weak against Chaos Infantry. We do also have a bloated corpse, so just having a little bit of a meme this game. We wanted to bring a corpse. He's red. Wow, he actually looks different than the other one I've seen, I think. He's got like a pretty cool necklace going on. So this guy's ready to go. I actually wanted to test him out and see how much damage he would do against like Archaon and Lords and see if they were actually viable against like heavy targets. We're going to be trying to go after Archaon, and you guys will see how they do in just a moment. We already know they do huge damage against infantry, which obviously is probably the preferential way to use them, but I also am quite curious to see how they do against other types of units. So we are bombing the Chaos Infantry, the Forsaken, and we're going after the Halberds in the back because I know they can do some damage to CYLOSTRA. And the Terror guys, I could have probably swooped down, but I didn't want to get wrapped up by Poison Hounds and different things like that. So we're just playing very defensively here. And we're going to be going in with an Angry Krabby Patty here in just a moment. So right now, the Forsaken charging up the hill. These guys are going to be running into some angry polearm zombies here. Hopefully they'll be able to fend off the Marauders and the Forsaken charging and everything. So here comes the Bloated Corpse. I'm just shambling it out. Now here we go. I wanted to see how it does against Archaon. So a fat fireball, just tagging it right in the dome piece, putting it to just a very, very low HP. And the Chariots charge in. So here we go. We get to see how it does against Chariots. Now, that was also kind of satisfied my test as well. I wanted to see how it would do against like heavily armored targets, so it doesn't seem to do that. So that kind of answers that question. Angrily. CYLOSTRA over here is going to be going after some of these infantry. Definitely her element. She causes fear. She causes terror. She's going to be able to... Oh, we didn't mean to fast forward there. She can take those guys out pretty efficiently. So on that same note, we're going to be summoning some Prometheans to deal with Forsaken. They're heavily armored. They have good AP. They're definitely a solid choice. And in the meantime, the Deathstreak Terrorgeist is going to be going after the Chariots, and we did bring him down to half health, so I was quite happy about that engagement. There's Hounds, there's Demon Spew, there's a lot of like scary stuff over here, so I probably should have kept my Terrorgeist like on top of CYLOSTRA and like refused to go elsewhere. I think that would have been a little bit better, because honestly, I don't think it was worth like chasing the Chariots here. They're not really going to do much of anything against my my cheap, trashy infantry. They really don't matter in the first place. The Rotting Prometheans here have been popped out. They're doing a very good job holding, just kind of slapping on some of these Chaos Infantry, dropping the base. Fog of the Dam's going down, as well as actually the Song of Enthrallment. So she has a lot of AoE debuffs to melee attack, which is quite cool. And now we're going to be using the Ghost of the Past. So you can see here, the Bretonnian Knights of the Past are going to be coming out of this huge torrential vortex. They're definitely going to be dropping some hot charges here on some of these troops. So quite excited to see these guys in action. So let's see how they do. Damned Knights Errants is what they're called. Those damned Knight Errants. They're going to be charging down the hill, going after the chariot. We get a little bit of a charge on the Warriors of Chaos here. And Archaon's actually taken some damage from the Deathstreak Terrorgeist. So the Terrorgeist for the Vampire Coast, they don't have anti-large, but they just have better weapon strength overall. So a bit of a more well-rounded Terrorgeist, not quite as good against large targets, but actually better against something like Archaon on foot. In the meantime, still summon some angry crabs. The crabs, as far as kills, only have 8 kills. Chaos are getting a little bit tattered in the center pocket. Bounce power is dead even. No one's really ahead right now. And using those damn Knight Errants, we're going to be hunting down those chariots, which is nice. They cause fear and terror as well. And we're going to be summoning our second group of crab dragons. So the Prometheans just holding. And I was starting to think as I was using these Prometheans, I was like, I probably should have just brought like 3 Prometheans and just had them kind of tank all the Chaos Infantry, because they were doing very well. But the fact that they were dissipating due to their regenerated or their summon nature is something that was really kind of taken away from what they were bringing to the table. So Salt Lord Scuttlers are pretty much out of ammunition. My handguns, I'm just shooting into the Demon Spew and the other Forsaken. He actually gets a really good surround on my Terrorgeist. I wasn't able to get away because it was getting poisoned by the Forsaken here. I was having a lot of trouble waddling away, and it was just tough. So my Deathstreak Terrorgeist taking a beating. But at the very least, I'm getting some good Overwatch fire, and the Damned Knight Errants are going to be charging into the Chaos Marauders and the Poison Warhounds. And CYLOSTRA's doing good. She's full health. She's happy. She's well fed here. Things are looking pretty good, but there are halberds coming in and chariots as well. Chariots aren't going to do pretty much anything against her, but they do pin her in. The mass, as Janet did articulate. And the Terrorgeist's getting some pretty good breath attacks on Archaon, able to tag him as he does pop Slayer of Kings, and we were able to avoid that. So just to make sure the Terrorgeist could get away, and I don't have access to Vampires, so I really think the most competitive builds with Vampire Coast is going to be with Lord Vampires. Deeps isn't bad, but like having Invocation to Heck, I could have had this thing at like full health by now. So definitely something to take note of here. But the Promethean's still fighting, doing a good old job. 34 kills. The Knights of the Past have been killed off here. You do actually have 2 charges. It's on somewhat of a long cooldown, but you can summon 2 groups of Knights. I don't know if you can overcast it. I don't know if you can. But anyways, Promethean here is going to be just crabby fighting against halberds, which is not a good situation. I do use the Song of Enthrallment, which is going to lower their melee attack, buy some time for Mrs. Direfin to kind of get a bit more of a stabilized fight here. And we do have another Terrorgeist coming back. Now the Prometheans are almost gone, so the balance of power that you guys did see that was maybe a little bit in my favor is now going to be starting to deflate. So it's going to be a little bit tough now that I'm running out of those guys. And here the Song of Enthrallment going down, still lowering their melee attack. Fog of the Dam stacking, putting the melee attack in most of these troops like 0, which is very, very cool. But guys, there is this perpetual threat of Archaon. So Archaon is still here. He's still strong. I could potentially good him out with Terrorgeist, but it's getting a little bit tough because CYLOSTRA is just being dragged down by like hordes of infantry. And it definitely makes me think I should have brought some like Morngulls or maybe some Prometheans or things like that. But again, I don't think she's the most competitive pick against Chaos, but she still does an okay job against like blobs of infantry. If I did have Vangeist Revenge, I could probably like one-shot this blob right now. So I was a little bit sad I didn't bring that, but I think the Prometheans were correct because if you don't bring the Prometheans, like you can't use both really. You can summon a Promethean, then you might get 1 Vangeists. But I think getting the 2 Prometheans plus like the other debuff spells is a little bit stronger. So the Crab dropping the Atomic Butt Drop here on the Chaos Marauders, and I want to see him pick up one of the guys and beat them. Deathstreak Terrorgeist getting a massive breath attack there on the Forsaken. Hey, come on, pick one up. That's what we're here for. Come on, Crab. Come on, what are you doing? Oh, is he going for the Atomic Butt Drop again? Looks like CYLOSTRA bellowing out orders from atop the mighty Crab. Oh, he's just going to pimp slap him with his Crab Claw, which is always a bit of fun. So, Terrorgeist dropping in. Balance of power is pretty even. I do have the 2 Terrorgeists. Chaos Infantry are very tattered. Archaon's about full health here. I'm just using the Death Droppers with handguns who are pretty much out of ammunition at this point, just to drop in and kind of muck things up. Go after Poison Warhounds. Just go after some of the cheaper targets that they can actually beat. In the meantime, CYLOSTRA, though, is taking a lot of damage. Bounce of power is starting to drift in the favor of the Everchosen as he does wade through the swamps here. And I really like the idea of having a Footlord against Vampire Coast. I feel like it's not bad at all because it gives him a very narrow target. Granted, I didn't want to play Powder because I felt like it would have been too tough to protect like my army against his massive Chaos Onslaught, but I think like the general direction of the build using Terrorgeist and like big heavy monsters is good. The builds I have had success with against Chaos is actually uses Necroplex Colossus, but again, Jan and I wanted to try some underused lords here with CYLOSTRA Direfin as well as Archaon. And Archaon seems to be doing good. Definitely very solid. I think that Archaon plus maybe the Warp Chicken are probably the best picks against Vampire Coast. But anyways, here, balance of power is still damn even, guys. And something else that, even though the battle's looking a little bit tough for me and I'm a little bit beat up here, I still do have another summon of the Ghosts of the Past. So I'm going to be able to drop that somewhere over here. little bit of clipping as you do zoom out there. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to be able to drop the Ghost of the Past and maybe get some more charging. The other Deathstreak Terrorgeist is in pretty bad shape, trying to chew on these chariots and, you know, get some terror routes going. Pretty sure it does cost terror. And does it have Swarm of Flies as well? No, that's actually from the Demon Sphere. So I was going to say, like, oh, that'd be really powerful if they had that. Anyways, Archaon's getting really beat up, something that could potentially get me back into the game here. Archaon's getting for that boot, or he's going for that Archaon booty. Again, these Deathstreak Terrorgeists have higher stat lines. They don't have a bonus first large, but they're very good against like general targets, right? So Archaon on foot is pretty much what they're solid against. CYLOSTRA is still fighting. She has about 1600 HP. She's getting very, very tattered. The Ghost of the Damned is going to be coming off cooldown relatively soon. I do also charge in the deck droppers with handguns to try and stabilize the situation because it's looking a little bit Grimbones here. And we're also going to be dropping a Fog of the Damned, which is going to be lowering leadership. And a lot of these guys are pretty close to breaking, right? They're steady. Some of them are shaken. So the fact that we can maybe get some routes off that is good. And oh, look at that. Isn't that cool how the skull like, comes up there? That's really, really neat. But anyways, Archaon's getting beat up, but alas, the Halberds get over there. Some Marauders. Archaon is actually steady, so he's in okay shape. Slayer of Kings might be coming off cooldown, and he does have the Crown of Domination, so he's giving all his nearby troops immunity to Psychology, which I think is very, very solid. We do summon some Damn Knight Errants. Those Damn Knight Errants are going to be charging in, just ramshackling these Chaos Infantry, and they do have Terror, but Archaon actually counters that with his Helm of Domination, which I think is really awesome stuff here from Janet. But anyways, we charge in. The Damn Knight Errants get some okay work. CYLOSTRA is going to be crumbling, and at this point, I mean, I have this Deathstreak Terrorgeist. I have the Damn Knight Errants, and look how beat up this Chaos Army is. One Vangeist Revenge could literally like kill this entire blob. I was so sad during the game. I was like, oh, I should have brought that. But alas, I will be bringing that, guys. I'll make sure to bring some entertaining builds with it over the course of the next few weeks. There's going to be streams. There's going to be all kinds of stuff going on. So CYLOSTRA does charge in. I figured this was my last chance to break some of these guys. All the Damn Knight Errants were alive, and the Terrorgeist was alive, but she's just too low. She has 300 HP. She's crumbling. The Warriors of Chaos, though, almost having a mass rout as the Song of Enthrallment goes down, lowering their melee attack. So it's a really, really close fight, despite the fact that all my guys are done for. But pretty much when CYLOSTRA goes, I don't have any access to vampires. It'd probably be worth it to bring like a vampire caster just to keep her up. And here she goes. She crumbles and falls. And, yeah, she'll probably go back to the depth where she belongs here. But anyways, that's going to be all she wrote. It's going to be the Damn Knight Errants charging in. Definitely quite a bit of fun. Big thanks to Janet for bringing Archaon. We had a very fun game there with some of the more ridiculous lords on the respective rosters. But Archaon's quite a bit better than he was before with a solid AP. Normally, he wouldn't have had the stopping power to hurt the Terrorgeist or CYLOSTRA, but in this case, he did a really good job. And CYLOSTRA, I think, isn't a bad pick. So if I were to change that, I think the build is onto the right direction. Firstly, I wouldn't bring the Bloated Corpse. It's a huge waste of money. I mean, I could have, against players, it's better against AI and like campaign where you can get them to like blob up and then kill them, but she did pretty good. So if I were to like take to that and try and make CYLOSTRA a little bit more optimal, here's what I would do. So let's go ahead and take a look here. We got some fun games coming up for you guys, so hopefully you're ready to party. So CYLOSTRA versus Chaos. Firstly, Noctilus is the right choice. If you're playing against Chaos, you get Noctilus on his Colossus, you get 2 Terrorgeists and just a blob, and you can usually outlast Chaos that way. That's been my experience. But if you want to go CYLOSTRA, this is going to be the way to go here. So let's switch it up. Probably not the Spiteful Shot. I guess we could get these, maybe cut Fog of the Damned. Maybe you could spam these 2 abilities. That's probably something you might be able to get away with. I don't know. Maybe you could even just bring it, but yeah. I feel like the Vangeist is going to be super good because most Chaos players are just going to spam heavy infantry against you. From here, you want to go 2 Deathstreak Terrorgeists, and you probably want to get some polearms. Maybe we can even get less. We can get like some Depth Guard to give us some like sustainability and some punch here. And do we want to get like a Vampire? Oh, that's actually probably something that wouldn't be bad. It would not be bad. Yeah, so let's get the Krabby Patties. I think they would be a little bit more solid here. So let's get 2 of those guys. They have, solid tankiness. They're not going to disappear. Plus, we can summon 2 more on top of that. So I think that's going to be very powerful. And for the rest of the troops, I do think the deck droppers were decent for kind of like harassing and poking. But while we're here, why not go like all in on this style of play, right? And I feel like there's something here I should cut. She's so expensive. It's just like it's pretty high priced. Yeah, Terrorgeists get the breath attacks. Deck droppers I feel like might just run out of ammunition before they can do like their work. Terrorgeists will deal with Shaggist and things like that. I would like to get like an Equifax Colossus in there, but then you're getting like, we could even get like 1 crab, we could get a Colossus just to kind of stand there and blast things. They're pretty damn good against Chaos. And then from there you can just like mix in like a couple of these guys or, get some more polearms, whatever. Like, yeah, something like that's fine. So I think a build like this might work a little bit better. If you want to cut these guys and cut the Colossus, I mean, there's a bunch of different ways you can go. You go with some Mourngulls, they're not bad at all. I mean, they regenerate, they're pretty good in like long grindy fights, but they do have light armor, so Forsaken can tear them up pretty badly. So probably not a second Rotting Leviathan. Depth Guard is another direction you could go, because Depth Guard, again, pretty good at like those grindy long fights. So you can mix in like one Depth Guard and get like a second Promethean. I think this would be the way to make CYLOSTRA pretty good against Chaos. But anyways, very well played to my opponent Jen on occasion. Make sure to check out his YouTube channel if you haven't. And guys, we'll be back with more content soon. Take care.